And now, Madam Deputy Speaker, with your permission, I should like to make a statement on the United Nations Climate Change Conference, better known as COP26, which took place in the magnificent city of Glasgow over the past 2 weeks. It was the biggest political gathering of any kind ever held in the United Kingdom. 194 countries were represented. We had around 120 heads of state and government, 38,000 accredited delegates, and there were countless tens of thousands more in the streets and parks and venues outside. It was a summit that many people predicted would fail, and a summit that I fear some quietly wanted to fail. Yet it was a summit that proved the doubters and the cynics wrong, because COP26 did not just succeed in keeping 1.5 alive, it succeeded in doing something no UN climate conference has ever done before, by uniting the world in calling time on coal. In 25 previous COPs, all the way back to Berlin in 1995, not one delivered a mandate to remove so much as a single lump of coal from one power station boiler. For decades, tackling the single biggest cause of carbon emissions proved to be as challenging as eating the proverbial elephant. It was just so big that no one knew quite where to start. But in Glasgow, Madam Deputy Speaker, we took the first bite, because we have secured a global commitment to phasing down coal, and as John Kerry pointed out, you can't phase out coal without first phasing it down as we transition to other cleaner energy sources. And we have, for the first time, a worldwide recognition that we won't get climate change under control as long as our power stations are consuming vast quantities of the sedimentary super polluter that is coal. That alone is a great achievement. But we haven't just signalled the beginning of the end for coal, Madam Deputy Speaker. We've ticked our boxes on cars, cash and trees as well. The companies that build a quarter of the world's automobiles have agreed to stop building carbon emission vehicles by 2035. And cities from Sao Paulo to Seattle have pledged to ban them from their streets. We've pioneered a whole new model, an intellectual breakthrough that sees billions in climate finance, development bank investment and so forth being used to trigger trillions from the private sector to drive the big decarbonisation programmes in countries like South Africa. And we've done something that absolutely none of the commentators saw coming, by building a coalition of more than 130 countries to protect up to 90% of our forests around the world, those great natural soakers of carbon. Mr. Speaker, none of this was a happy accident or inevitability. The fact that we were there at all in the face of a global pandemic is in itself the result of a vast and complex effort involving countless moving parts. Right until the very end, there was the real prospect that no agreement would be reached